Hi, I'm Lucinda, and this is my Volkswagen ID Buzz. And I built this! My ideal car camping setup. And in this video, I want to take you from the inspiration, to the design, to actually building out the vision. I have big dreams of financial and location freedom, and enjoying the outdoors more. The goal is to do what I love, to be more creative and value time over money. Which brings us to this point, where the pondering about the possibilities began. The idea with this van is to be able to use it as intended. It's a somewhat practical, but mostly just really cool everyday vehicle that seats 7 people, 2 up front, 3 in the middle, and another 2 all the way in the back, so it's got 3 rows. And then also to be able to go camping with it. This air mattress solution that I've got going on here is not the permanent way I want to go camping with Elfie. That's what I call the van, Elfie. The actual solution is going to be a camper box that has a fold-out frame for a mattress on top. That's what I want to make. Of course, I could just buy one of these off-the-shelf solutions, but where's the fun in that? I just like doing things myself, and I want this to be a cool little project. I've never done anything like this before, but I love giving myself a little bit of a challenge. So here's what I'm thinking. This way, the box is going to be 35 inches. This way's it's going to be 45, and then with the platform being 15 inches tall, there's plenty of room still left. I think about 31 inches left, right? Yeah, to sleep, which is going to be more than enough. I started with just good old-fashioned pen and paper, or pencil and paper, and made a few sketches of what I think that it's going to be, conceivably. And then from these paper sketches, I started making a 3D model in SketchUp. And then from that 3D model, I will make a cut list so I know exactly what the dimensions are that I need to cut the plywood in. For this project, I had to buy a whole bunch of new tools, including this table saw that I got at Lowe's. It was certainly intimidating starting this project since I had no idea what I was doing. These instructions really suck. But on the other hand, also eager to learn. Ta-da! Every project starts with a plan. I do realize that plans are basically just guesses until you act on them, and this cut list is my very first best guess. To be honest, my cut list, and I have a few really simple drawings. All of it is super simple, but that might just be the beauty of it. It's simple, it's easy to execute, and I think that even if the plan is simple, it will still come together as a functional and cool camper box. With the brand new table saw, my husband helped me to cut the biggest walls of the outer supporting structure of my camper box, and we cut it out of 3/4 inch plywood, and it's a sandy plywood. I'm cutting pieces out of the center of each wall in order to make the whole thing a little bit lighter. And I'm using a 1-inch hole saw and my brand new jigsaw, both from Harbor Freight, to get that done. These are the weight relieving cuts that I made. Just to reduce weight on this bottom piece. And I guess it's the first piece that I really cut all the way, so it was practice, so all the other ones are going to get better, hopefully. The sheets of plywood were originally 8 by 4 feet, but I had them cut the plywood sheets in half so that they were 4 by 4 feet, and that would be a lot more manageable in my not so big garage. Cutting it in half was free at Home Depot, where I got the plywood. Piece 11 is 16 1/4 by 35 3/4. 16 1/4? Yes! With the walls of the drawer structure and the bed frame all cut, I could continue to make the weight relieving holes in them. I had all the dimensions drawn out on paper, taped to the respective parts so that no mistakes will be made. Steady progress, we're actually getting somewhere, which is fantastic, but it's already 6:30 p.m. It's dark, skeeters are coming in, and I really want to take out these braids so I can really wash my hair thoroughly, because I feel like all this sawdust is collecting in these braids. Finally, all the weight-saving cuts have been made, and these are the final pieces that will make up the frame for the drawers and the bed. And before I go any further with any of this, which means I want to route it with a router and then sand it, lacquer, put it all together. But before I do any of that, I want to at least put it in the van a little bit, as much as I can, with some clamps to see if it fits. Ugh. So heavy. I can't really put it all the way into the car because of these clamps, but you get the idea. And it fits, but I do see right away that where the chairs are over there, they're gonna be lower than the construction for the bed is going to be, because this is the footboard. Yeah, so I need to make something extra in there. I'll show you what I mean. And so this is part of the bed structure that would then come from here and then the next part would be here, because these don't go back further. So that means that I'm gonna have to have another thing here to brace it, but it's really hard to measure that and make it now. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put everything together, finish this part, and then figure out how high this needs to be. It's just really hard to envision it now, what I need to make this work. But I guess you get it, right? Like, one more piece that comes to here, and I will have a bed. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I really do feel like this is gonna work. The router that I'm using is another tool that I didn't initially have, but this time I didn't have to buy it. My mother-in-law was super kind and let us have it since it was laying around in their garage and not being used. Super grateful for this awesome gift. And if you're starting on a project and you don't have the tools, it's worth asking around to see if you can borrow them from family or friends. The routing and the sanding is absolutely a messy endeavor, and the sawdust is flying around everywhere. But it's also super rewarding because the rounded edges being nice and smooth really does give it a nice feel. The whole project feels more done. And in order to get an even nicer finish, I also applied edge banding to the sides of the plywood so that you won't be able to see the layers of plywood from the sides. And then there was sanding. Today I've only been able to put the final touches on all the panels. That means I applied the edge banding and sanded everything. So it is ready for lacquer and assembly. I applied lacquer as the wood finish to make it stand up to moisture a little bit better, and as I understand it, lacquer is one of the faster drying finishes that you can use for wood, so that sounded good to me as well. The little yellow paint pyramids worked extremely well so that I could more easily get to the rounded parts of the structure and the sides of it without having to get lacquer all over the floor or on my workbench. You know what? I don't think this looks bad at all. It's pretty decent. This is the first layer. And then after 30 minutes, it's supposed to be dry. And then I can turn it around and do the other side. And then another 2 hours waiting for the next layer to be done. And then there's going to be 3 layers in total. While the pieces that I just put lacquer on are drying, and they look okay. I'm okay with it. Might not be perfect, but it's good. I'm actually finally gonna put some stuff together. I'm a little bit nervous, but it has to be done. Now, I was completely under the impression that you have to like pre-drill holes before you actually put the screws in to put everything together, and then drill another tiny little hole thing to make it countersink the screws. But apparently there are screws that you don't have to do that for. Apparently these don't require pre-drilling and they will just countersink by themselves. In addition to the screws, I'm also applying wood glue to make sure that the things are really sturdy. And it seems that the screws are working really well. There is no wood that's splitting and they're countersinking as advertised, which is good so that they won't catch or anything in the car. Finally, I've put some stuff together, which is super amazing. And on the left side, there's going to be a drawer for water and storage. And then here on the right side, it'll be a drawer for the fridge, as well as the induction stovetop. And then these are the drawer slides that I need to install here soon. Yesterday, my husband helped me, actually 2 days ago, my husband helped me to cut the pieces for the drawers, so that has been done, and now I need to put them together and put them in the box. I did attach on one side the drawer slides already, and I'll attach them on the right side as well, so the left side is already attached. And then hopefully, if I measured everything and cut everything correctly, it should fit. It should magically fit. For the drawers, I decided to drill pocket holes as a way to put them together. Lots and lots of pocket holes. And you may have noticed that I also used pocket holes to attach the middle wall of the outside structure. Now, I'm not sure if this is the best way to join the walls of a drawer, but I think it's cool because eventually there will be no screw showing on the outside of the drawer. It totally works. Huh? Yoink. Oh, too far. It's gonna fall. And then closes back up. I love this. I'm so happy it works. It will work really perfectly when it's actually all together. It works. So this doesn't look that nice because all the pocket holes are here in the front. But I will make a drawer front for that. It will be perfect. But now it's late. I'm over it for today. This took me all day. But I have a working drawer. The left drawer was a lot easier to make than the right one, since that one was a little bit more intricate, with it also having two little drawers inside of it. The main drawer slides are supposed to be able to hold a weight of 150 pounds, and the small ones inside the right one are rated for half that, 75 pounds. In order to get the inside drawers in the right place, used 1/4 inch plywood pieces to space out the individual drawers so they won't rub against one another. I use the same method to space out the main drawer from the surrounding structure. What we have right now is the 2 drawers as I want them to be. And this one is going to be storage, and the water jug, I have to close it right here. This is where I'm going to be cooking, and the fridge is going to be in the back. And this one also works. Ta-da! Fridge is going to be right here. It now moves because it's not bolted to the back, right? And it will be attached in the car. And then I have this drawer right here where we will be cutting stuff, cooking over here. A little extra drawer over here for storage, for cutlery, for cooking utensils, all that stuff is going to be right here. The one thing that was interesting is that both of these drawers, there's like about 2 inches right here that it still remains inside the box. This is the problem right here. I can't fit the fridge in or the water jug on that side. So what I did is I installed a little hinge here so that I now freely can put the fridge in and out. So then when I attach all of this, this will be attached to the rest of the frame, and this will just stay open. With the installation of this hinge, I was seemingly done with the cutting and drilling portion of the build and happily moved on to painting and continuing to apply lacquer. To make the camper box a little bit more unique, I decided to match the colors of the drawer fronts and the storage lid to the colors of the car. And I used a roll of ultra-white painting tape to protect the sides that I did not want to be painted from overspray. I applied 2 layers of color and then 2 layers of clear coat to seal it. And as the paint is drying on the drawer fronts, I move on to the main structure to finish that. And so on the inside of the box, I applied a clear liquid rubber just in case something will leak in the box, and then it will not damage the wood. It will also be easier to clean up any spills. By the way, I was totally wrong earlier. I still needed to drill more pocket holes in order to attach the bed footboard to the drawer structure. The painting and drying process was a little tedious, admittedly, and unfortunately the paint did run a little bit in certain places. Now, the perfectionist side of me is screaming to touch it up with a little bit of white paint and a paintbrush, but I've chosen to just let it be. It adds a little bit of character, and also, from a distance, you can't see the small blemishes anyway. The drawer fronts are installed with screws as well as wood glue, just to make entirely sure that they won't come off. And it's incredibly satisfying to finally see the whole vision coming together. The kitchen storage part and the bed footboard are completely done at this point. We're moving into the last stretch of this project. It's just the remainder of the bed platform that needs to be put together with the hinges that still need to be cut to size. There is one more thing. Today is the day. March 11th, 2025 is going to be the day that The main part of my van conversion is going to be done. In the past few days, I made 3 different storage boxes that will store our clothes as well as the bedding. And they also serve as the structure, the supporting structure for our bed base. And all I have to do now is cut this foldable mattress to size. It is 52 inches wide and our bed is 45 inches wide. So I need to cut off 7 inches.
It is almost hard to believe, but all the building, all the sawing and drilling and painting, everything is done. It is done. And I have kind of outfitted it the way I wanted to. But let me show you how the bed platform is going to work, and then I'll show you the outside, the kitchen as well. So first up, we have these 2 boxes, 3 actually. These have a little bit of storage room, of course. Right now there's not a whole lot in it. I still have to figure out what I want to bring specifically. This one has bedding in it and a little table as well. So these are going to go like this, which is going to then be supported by these boxes. Now obviously this is the very first time that I'm doing this, but it works. And then I think that I want my feet to go this way and then my face to go this way because I have the skylight right here. And then, yeah, this is going to be the way that I sleep. And then if the hubby comes, he can be over here. And the pup can be by our feet or he can be down here. There's enough room for all 3 of us. He's probably going to be up here, the pup. So, how cool, huh? I am really excited about this, not gonna lie. So let me take you outside for the kitchen area as well. And here is the kitchen. And this part, we have water, which is going to be this little faucet. Pop that up here. Connect this. Ta-da! Water, but it's also storage. The whole bunch of stuff in here. This is where I'll be cooking, and then there's some extra stuff out here for storage out here for the stuff to clean. We have all the utensils here too, olive oil. I need to get some other stuff too, like spices and what have you, and all the actual food is going to go in our fridge, which is right here. And then we have some more stuff down here. I will do a complete van tour eventually. I don't know when yet, but it will come. If you come up with anything that I forgot, make sure that you leave that in the comments below. And if you made it to this point in the video, then you are definitely my people. Thank you so much for giving me so much of your valuable time. Stay safe out there. Pet a furry friend if you have one, and I'll see you next week.